Arnab, let me just bring in 4 points which I would want to put on this debate. It is important to have this discussed in the Parliament. I think Sushma Swaraj was right in asking for a session, and in the interest of the nation, the government should concede and have a discussion. Simultaneously, what I would think should happen is the Standing Committee concerning women and women-related matters should immediately meet and also engage with the protesters to understand what exactly do they have in their mind. The Standing Committee should engage with these people. Other than that, it should also look at women-specific laws and women-related laws. Comprehensively have a look at it and say where we are missing out.
No, but
why
Nirmala,
are these archaic? Why can't they become effective?
No, Ms. Sitaraman.
The last point, they should also immediately look at implementing the various suggestions which have come on police reform.
No,
I think the two wings, the prosecution wing and the investigative wing, should be separated with immediate effect.
Correct.
All the suggestions which have come till now through various commissions and committees should be focused.
Well,
I'll
tell you something. Now, I'm also not going to make it political, but I'll say something. In the period 1999 to 2004, the BJP was in power, and after that, 2004 to 2012, UPA has been in power. Through an order in 1999, Supreme Court directed the Law Commission to review the law on rape. It's a Sakshi versus Union of India case, right? Law Commission in its 172nd report dated March 25, 2000, when Vajpayee was in power, if I'm not mistaken, an eminent man from Nagpur, I think called N.M. Ghatate, was heading the Law Commission at that point of time. They made recommendations to amend the law to widen the definition of rape, right? They made several things. Now, 12 years later, amendments to the law on the basis of these recommendations are still awaited. You see, so unfortunately, the Law Commission of India made the recommendations. Following a Supreme Court request, 12 years later, we are waiting for the amendments, which mean cold storage. That's why people have doubt on political sincerity.
Yeah.
Bharat Kumar Raut. No, people are right in questioning political sincerity, right?
Exactly. Arnab, today is one of the saddest day in not only my life, but in the life of most of the people in this country. And my head, I'm not phony, but my head really hangs in shame, particularly because I have joined a political fraternity which has failed and squarely failed in bringing in an effective legislation. I'm not saying not broad legislation, effective and strong legislation.
I'm glad that you're being candid today.
And to this, here let me, but I am not as pessimistic as many are here. When you are saying here all the time that she is no more, I contest that. I say that she is no more physically, but her spirit, she is alive in the hearts of millions of Indians, and that will guide us, that will show us the way to bring in a better society which gives enough honor, respect to the womanhood of the country.
I agree with you on that, but I want very specific questions.
I'm going back to the question, is that should there be special session? I say yes. There should be special session. For that, there should be charter of demands, and that is possible. It is not.
See, there is no special session. On the commissions, people are sitting, and in the last 2 years, Naresh Gujral, the former President Pratibha Patil, who I've seen giving some homilies on some other channels, has commuted death sentences for 5 convicts charged with rape and murder.
That's right.
So I'm asking today that should the Home Ministry adopt a policy of a blanket ban on recommending clemency in those cases where rape is involved? You know, we don't even do that, Mr. Gujral.
Arnab, first of all, I'd like to say that it is imperative that we call a special session of Parliament.
Yes.
People are angry, people are agitated, they're sick of platitudes.
Yes.
They want to see results. They want the politicians to act.
Yes.
As it is, we are completely alienated from the people. They look down upon us today. And I think we must have a session and we must rise above party lines.
Yeah.
There should be no blame game.
Yeah.
And we should basically think of solutions. We all know the problem. But try to find some solutions, both short term and long term. But this can only happen that for once, if we don't indulge in blame game and actually try to find some solutions.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Mr.
Basically,
Mr. Gujral,
the whole society
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, some people in our society who have a primitive mindset and who are indulging in these barbaric acts day after day, they need to be given a shock treatment. And we need to give that shock treatment as early as possible. And I think for that it is imperative that the Parliament meets, and Parliament meets quickly.
Yeah.
I don't see why the government can't call a session within a week.
I don't know why. That's what my question. What is the question today we are asking Mr. Gujral is exactly that. Why is it so incredibly difficult to hold a parliament session?
If they don't do so,
what is
any urgent parliament session can be commission can commence with a notice of 3 days.
And anyway, in Parliament nowadays, MPs are not known for great attendance. So hopefully we'll be able to have some quorum. And women of the country will see how many parliamentarians attend.
No, I do not want to come to that level, but I am saying technically it is possible, because with 3-day notice, any parliament session can be convened as urgent, and this is an urgent matter.
Parliament reflects the will of the people. Those are elected representatives. They should know what ails the people. They should know what pains the nation. They should meet at this point of time. 13 days protesters, day in and day out, they are out there with candles, saying that candle is indeed mightier than the lathi. That's what they're saying. And I'm so glad they're saying that. So I guess the politicians, the political class should sense the mood, see the writing on the wall, convene a session immediately and discuss different sets of recommendations. It's not all that ambiguous and nebulous, Mr. Mehta. There are some definite Supreme Court guidelines are there. Two commissions are already there. So I think they can debate it. What is to be debated can be done with the parliamentarians meeting there, reflecting for once the will of the people.
Yeah, I'm with you. Vinod Mehta, coming to you, but before that I want to go one, because Soli Sorabji has to go, and Mr. Sorabji told me this morning. Vinod Mehta, right after Soli Sorabji, I'm coming to you. You see, Soli Sorabji, Mr. Sorabji, you told me this morning, keep it focused on Times Now, elsewhere as well, have a focused coverage, focused debate, keep up the pressure. I want to put 3 points to you. One, let there be an open discussion in Parliament on change of laws, so that there could be greater deterrence. Does this country need greater deterrence? You agree, Mr. Sorabji?
Not only change of laws, effective enforcement of laws.
Effective enforcement, and let there be a parliamentary debate on whether we need greater deterrence. Can we have a debate on that? Do you think you...
Yeah.
Okay. Second point,
correct,
no...
you can have a debate.
Yeah. Second
but
point...
the question is, will the ruling party agree to that?
Well, ruling party better
have
agree.
A special session.
I'm
with you. We should have a special session. So, views of the parliamentarians can be known. People can know what their views are, who's for them, who's not them. I agree with you. But in the present climate, I think it's unlikely that the ruling party will agree. Unfortunate. If it agrees, I'll be the most happy person.
Absolutely. Well,
we can discuss all this.
Yeah. And I hope, Mr. Sorabji,
Arnab,
as I thank you for participating so far. I know you stayed a little beyond 9:30, but I want to say one thing to you. I value the participation of eminent people like you in our debate. I was moved today by what Ram Jethmalani said. I'm moved by what you have said here today. And I thank you very much. Vinod Mehta. Yes, Mr. Mehta.
Arnab, if you have, I'm for a special session of Parliament. But going by the record of Parliament and going by the record of our parliamentarians, it will degenerate into a slanging match. That is why I say special session of Parliament and impose an agenda on them. Tell them this is what the people want. This is what these youngsters want. Without the agenda, Nirmala Sitharaman's party and the Congress party will keep calling each other's name. And they will keep saying that you didn't do this, you didn't do that. To make sure this doesn't happen, let there be a charter of 20 demands.
She wants to say something to you, Nirmala Sitharaman wants to say something to you. Yes, Nirmala.
I assure Mr. Vinod Mehta, not just BJP, I think the mood of the nation being what it is, political parties will certainly rise to the occasion and discuss the issue if only the parliament session is convened. And I do not want this cynicism, which is sometimes very unfounded. There are times when it can be justified. Your cynicism can be justified. But I don't think you should underestimate Indian politicians like this. We understand the mood. We understand and we are with the people. That is why I said, yes, a discussion in the parliament is important. Equally, the Standing Committee on Women's Affairs should now engage with a lot of representatives, part of them coming from the protesters, to understand how women-specific laws have not really found their optimal utilization. Invoking of women-specific laws or women-related laws have been so weak. We can always give n number of examples to say that laws are existing and nothing is really benefiting the women. So let there be an honest discussion in the Standing Committee. Let the parliamentarians in the special session talk. Please do not carry on the cynicism about Indian politicians. You're not helping the occasion by talking about it. There are No, I'm sorry. Let us give a chance to the politicians,
discussion in Parliament
and we can talk about it. Parliament happens or not, please don't underestimate the Indian politicians. We know to read the minds of the people. I don't want you all to perpetrate this cynicism. I hope the government concedes. We have a parliament session, and in which the leader of the opposition,
it's become the mainstay because system has not responded, because the political class, this democracy has failed its people.
No, I don't agree.
No, that's why there is cynicism. That's why people are out there. That's why people are
Sushma Swaraj has immediately demanded. Mamata Banerjee has demanded. Many political parties have demanded.
But you said when you began, you admitted that the political classes failed.
Yeah.
So why are you disagreeing?
To bring in effective legislation. I am talking now about
okay. We'll be very specific. Prasun Joshi, welcome into this chair. Second point which I wish to make is, and before I come to Prasun Joshi, this point I would like to take to T.S.R. Subramaniam. So the first suggestion was call a parliament session to discuss change of laws. Don't dilly-dally it, don't wait till February end. Second point I'd like to make is there should be no commuting of death sentence once approved by the highest court in this country by anyone, including the President of India, because the way Pratibha Patil went about commuting death sentences of 5 convicts charged with rape and murder, Mr. T.S.R. Subramaniam, it cannot be the women fancy of Pratibha Patil to do that. 5 people who have been charged by the Supreme Court of India of the most ghastly rape and murder, one signature of Pratibha Patil, and they get clemency. I mean, today there's such a deep irony to that, isn't there? So can that be a second suggestion?
Arnab, I agree with you. Only one short sentence on the parliament session. Yes, I think parliament should convene. It should express great anger and anguish. It should also discuss changes in laws. Along with that, it should also discuss 3 or 4 major far-reaching reform proposals which are pending on the table, so that the whole session will be useful. On the other question, I entirely agree with you. Firstly, it falls between the President and the Home Ministry, and it's not made clear to the public. Our Constitution is silent on the point. It is whether the absolute discretion of the President or whether it is on the prompting of the Home Ministry.
Well,
I suspect it is the later.
Thirdly,
when on merits, a highly competent apex court has given a verdict beyond possible doubt.
I want to know
and
today.
Only in rarest of rare cases they give, and in the case of rape, certain punishment is given, unless there are considerations of health, other factors, etc., which are extraordinary and on compassion. A man is dying of cancer, why sort of execute him? This kind of a thing. I don't think in our system there is any call for any interference, because it becomes immediately political football. It immediately becomes religion, it becomes secular, it becomes foreign policy, domestic policy. We should now exclude, we should now have a clear policy.
Kiran Bedi, welcome. Prasun Joshi, before I come to you, I want to know from Pratibha Patil. I want Pratibha Patil to come on the Newshour and to tell us why Bantu, who was convicted of raping and killing a 5-year-old, was accepted, his mercy petition was accepted. I want to know why Satish of Uttar Pradesh, who was convicted for the rape and murder of a 6-year-old, was given the was given the presidential pardon. I want to know why Dharmender Singh and Narendra Yadav death sentence commuted in June 2012. They wiped out a family of 5, including a 15-year-old girl. Narendra had tried to rape that girl a few days before, failing which he conspired with the other person to teach the family a lesson. 3 persons were beheaded. A 10-year-old boy was tossed alive into the fire. The Supreme Court convicted that person. I want to know why Pratibha Patil commuted the death sentence, and whether in these cases even a president should have the ability to have this kind of pardon. No, Mr. I'm only asking questions.